Let me tell you what's crazy about real estate. Literally, we have a housing inventory shortage, rates are coming down, Zillow's reporting 6%, and this is the time for people to be in the game of real estate. And what's the number one reason why people aren't playing? They complain about the cost, the affordability. Well, in today's video, I'm gonna share with you 3 super low cost or no cost ways of investing in real estate. So let me start by just sharing with you the number one mistake that the mentors talk about when their students are getting in the game of real estate. They take too long. Like, the most important thing you need to do is get in the game as quickly as possible. It's not okay to say, oh yeah, I read a book 6 years ago and I've been watching Kris Krohn YouTube videos and I still haven't done anything. The reality is you gotta find a way to get in the game, and you maybe heard from grandma or your dad or someone else that, oh yeah, it takes money to make money. You probably need like $100,000. Literally, I got a text today from a buddy. He's like, I'm thinking about buying this house. I have $100,000 to put down. I'm like, bro, you've been waiting to save up for years, $100,000 to buy a house? Did you know that you could get it for literally a 3% down payment? Hello? The first strategy is called wholesaling. This is a strategy where you basically go and find houses at like really huge discounts. Think of people with huge problems. They're like, oh yeah, my house is worth $300,000, but literally I would sell it to you for half of that. You're like, that's crazy. No one would sell a house half off, but watch. If that house has like $40,000 worth of damage and repairs and they don't have the money to repair it, a house is only worth what someone's willing to pay. And since they don't have the money to fix it up, it devalues the house considerably. Hence, there's always a handful of homes in your market that are selling at a really huge discount if you just know where to find them. Now, here's the cool thing about this. It doesn't take any money, because once you identify this really good deal, you're basically gonna call and have a negotiation conversation and sign up a contract that says, you're gonna agree to sell me your house at a really low price. And then guess what you're gonna do once you have that agreement? You're gonna go to investors and say, yo, I got a half off house, or I got a house at a huge discount. And all the investors that have all the money are like, dude, we got the money, we just need a deal. And you say, not too fast. Like, I'm gonna mark this up 10 grand, 20 grand, 50 grand. And you know what? If it's a good enough deal, they will pay you that and let you make that 10 grand, 20 grand. Well, now wait a second, I'm no money in to get the deal under contract, and I just flipped the piece of paper. I didn't even buy the house. I flipped the paper to an investor and then literally got paid out $10,000, $20,000 or more. Sounds crazy, but yes, it's very real. And I've got buddies that make millions and millions of dollars every year doing this strategy. It's called wholesaling. It's legit, and it is a no money strategy. And by the way, if that really resonates with your soul and you're like, I want to learn about that, I got a video up here in this corner. Go ahead and click that and let me show you everything you need to know about wholesaling. The second strategy is called house hacking. This is what I was talking about with that $3,300 on my very first house. Dude, I found this cute, tiny little bungalow house that had a basement apartment. And when I negotiated, I bought this house for $40,000 below market, which meant that I was hacking into this house's equity because it was a discount. The house was really actually not in great shape. It did need to be fixed up. So that equity came because the house was in really bad repair. But more importantly, it was a 3% down payment to the bank. I had 2 years with my job. I didn't have great credit, didn't have bad credit. I just had kind of just average credit. And that was enough with a tiny down payment to buy this house. Now, the reason why we're talking about house hacking is because a year later, I went back to the bank and I said, hey, this house has all this equity. And the bank said, you're right, it does. Would you like us to give you a line of credit called a HELOC, a home equity line of credit, so that you can do whatever you want with it, like fix it up or whatever? And I was like, yeah, give me the home equity line of credit. Home equity line of credit is kind of like a revolving credit card that's attached to the house's equity. And the bank just pre-approves you and says, oh, you have this much equity, we'll give you that much on a credit card. And so 2 weeks later, they basically said, here's your credit card. And I was like, I know what to do with this. I used my home equity line of credit to buy my next house, which means that my $3,300 that was sitting in this house got pulled out to actually go into the very next house. Now, the reason why that was a really big deal is because I bought that house $90,000 below market as a foreclosure. And it did need a little bit of fix up, but I held that house for a decade and later sold it and made over $130,000 on it. Remember, I didn't come up with the down payment on that one. Little housey here did, which means that my first house actually earned $130,000, but because I own that, it's all my money. The third low-cost way for you to invest in real estate is in my brand new Kronos fund. For the last decade, I've had a lot of private funds where people collectively put millions of dollars in, and then I go out and I buy real estate and we produce these really great returns. And I've decided for the first time ever to have what's called a public fund, which means I can, for the first time, tell you in watching this video that I have a fund, because I've got track record now on thousands of deals. And here's what you need to know about it. When you invest in a fund, once you've deposited your money in, you're actually not technically doing anything. You don't have to find a good deal. You don't have to crunch the numbers to see if it makes sense. You don't have to come up with the money to buy it. You don't have to fix it up. You don't have to do any of those things. Or in house hacking, you don't have to literally uproot yourself and move into another house and then use that equity to do the other thing and then move again. This isn't just a true low-cost investment option. It's also a no-time investment option because there's no effort required for you to get performance on your money. So as a fund, I basically go out on your behalf and I find the really good deals. I manage the really good deals and I get performance so that we ultimately get a really high ROI, a return on investment. Once you put your money in, it's entirely passive. It generates returns on the very best deals in the very best markets. And number three, I've learned how to access the highest return on investment, the highest ROIs without exacting time, effort, or risk. Now you might be wondering, well, Kris, like this video is about low cost investments, like real estate takes 20% down payments. That's like $70, $80, $90, $100,000 in today's market, even on a very basic piece of property. So what do you mean by low cost? The Kronos Real Estate Fund does have a minimum. It's $3,000. Sounds a lot like the very first house that I bought. Well, that's intentional. $3,000 is enough for anyone to work a little bit and say, hey, there's now a way for me to get in the game of real estate. And guess what? I don't need 100 grand. I don't need 50 grand. I only need $3,000. So if you've ever wanted to get in the game of real estate, today I've shared with you 3 different options. The first one, wholesaling, definitely requires no time, but definitely money. The second option of house hacking, it does require money, but maybe less time, but you might be moving your family around a little bit. And the third option, my brand new Kronos Real Estate Fund, it doesn't take time, it doesn't take effort, and it takes the least amount of money possible, but it gets you 100% in the game. Click the link below and learn about my brand new Kronos Real Estate Fund. Your time for investing in real estate is now. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you did want to do a follow-up on wholesaling, that video is right here. Or if you want to learn more about house hacking, click right here and watch this video. Let's go.